guys, it's coffee time! And D&D last night was awesome. It was great because Jared, he moved to the East Coast for a different job, but he was visiting, and so while he was visiting we were like, we should play D&D, and he was like, oh, we totally should, like, what's happened since I left? And we were like, oh, we haven't played since you left. And it was like elated. He looked so happy. He was like, oh my god, we have to play then! Because last we left off, his character was literally about to die. Like about to die. So, we were like, oh man, that would be great. But then in my heart places, I was like worried, like, oh no, what if we start to play and then he dies? Like, that would suck. So, yeah, we got to play. And at one point we all woke up in a dungeon, and then we were walking around and we like opened up these two sarcophagi because we had two people who just joined the game, just for funsies. So we had two new characters that showed up, a Warforged named Rob, who Bo played from the last video, and then, oh, what was his name? Turgid Manslayer. He was awesome, and he was played by, Dar's friend Steven. So we were like, yes, this is gonna be great. And so we found these two dudes, we got attacked by spiders, killed the spiders, and then these two entrances opened up. And we were like, oh man, which entrance do we take? But one of the sarcophagi was like a huge pit that seemed bottomless. So we were like, maybe we should find out what's in the pit because we're dumb. And so we all jumped down this pit, well, like climbed down the pit. And there was a huge dragon there. And Jared just starts snickering, and we were like, what? He goes, guys, we're in a dungeon, and there's a dragon. And then we all like freaked out and started applauding, like it was a big deal. It was awesome. And yeah, it was great. And Steven was like, wow, this is my first game of D&D ever, and I got to experience a dragon in a dungeon. We were like, I know, right? It was just so great. It was really fun though. And yeah, we expected it to be an all-nighter. Not an all-nighter of D&D, but we were gonna play D&D and then we were gonna play Puerto Rico, which I've never played, but apparently, like, some of them are really into Puerto Rico. So they were like, oh man, yeah, we can just play D&D and then the people who have to go to bed will go to bed and everybody else who wants to like man up and keep playing games, we can play Puerto Rico. And I was like, yes, I can do this. So I like slept in because I had a shoot, but the shoot didn't start until a little bit later. So I was like, I'm gonna sleep in so that I am so refreshed for this session. It's gonna be crazy. Gaming all night. And everybody wimped out after D&D. We ended D&D at like 2:30 or 3. And then everybody's like, we gotta go to bed, we have work, or I gotta go to bed, I have a meeting. And we were like, So we all went to bed, and I was like, dang it! I was all prepared. I was all prepared for the all-nighter. Not fair. I almost died this time though. It was scary. It was so scary. I was like, oh. But it's okay. And I accidentally used Power Strike twice, which is something that you're only supposed to use once per encounter. So Power Strike basically lets you roll for your attack twice, so you can possibly do double damage. And I forgot that I had used it already, so I rolled twice again and nobody stopped me. And I only realized it later because I almost did it again. And then Lou was like, no! What are you doing? I was like, I'm using Power Strike. And he was like, you used it, you're done. No! So, yeah. And Jared's our bard, but he's like, he's mean. He's a mean person, which is one of the reasons why I absolutely love him in our party, but he got like trapped by this thing, like possessed, so he was using attacks on us, but his attacks were, oh, what was it called? Vicious Mockery. It was basically where he makes fun of you and then takes a roll, and if it's a good roll, then you take damage from the Vicious Mockery. So he had to think on his feet every time he had to use Vicious Mockery. He had to figure out something to make fun of us about. So like, for me, at one point, he aimed Vicious Mockery at me, and I was like, oh, do your worst, whatever. And he was talking about how every time somebody's hit on me in this game, like, nothing's come of it. And so he was like, wow, it must be, wow, you're having a lot of problems there. It's just like, people just realize how terrible of a person you are and they just don't want to be around you anymore. And then he rolled and he like critical hit me, so I was like, I'm pretty, okay? And got like super upset and took all this damage. It was just ridiculous. I'm not pretty, by the way. I'm a dragon lady. I am a super dragon lady and my charisma's really low. So it's like, oh god, it was so fun. I love that game so much. We were discussing how we would live stream it because you'd have to do the overhead camera. So a couple people were arguing that you wouldn't need to do the overhead camera, and I was like, if I was watching D&D, I would want to be able to see the grid. I would want to be able to know, like, how many spaces somebody could move so that if they moved a certain way and I could think of a different way for them to move, I'd be like, oh, they should have moved this way, right? Because we all love to be that person. So you need the overhead camera so that you could see the miniatures and everything. But then, how would you do, like, the people? Like, would you need to do the people? Could you just do the table and the grid? Or would it be like table and grid and then like a camera? If it was like a long table with the DM on this side, could you have the camera right here so it's like kind of showing everybody? I don't know, man. I feel like there's like a really efficient way to do it and we just haven't figured it out yet. We did record it though, like sound-wise. It was good times. I get really aggressive in that game, in D&D. If my character is a really aggressive person, I get really aggressive in that game. But it's so fun, I love it so much. But we didn't get to play Puerto Rico. It was gonna be either Puerto Rico or Catan, and we didn't do either. Because, the girl who has Catan didn't come. And none of us had Puerto Rico, and everybody just pooped out, so we're like, dang it! Dang it! Could have had all-nighter gaming, jeez. It was probably for the best, like, for all of our sanity today, but sometimes you just really want to be able to game all night. I mean, technically I could just game all night tonight. I could just boot up Skyrim, just play forever. That's what could happen tonight. I'll probably get tired though, let's be honest. But yeah. So, Ro, rented like 5 movies. So, they're watching Conan the Barbarian right now. I was gonna watch it with them, but I was like, no, I need to film. I'm filming and editing and all that. And they were like, alright, you can join us for Fright Night. I guess, Fright Night apparently was good. I don't know. So, we'll give it a shot and we'll see. Apparently it was good though. So I'm excited to find out about that. But, yeah. I hope you guys had a good day and a good night last night. But I will talk to you guys again tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye. Mwah.